Welcome back to File Under Fire, a wrestling review podcast. My name is Brady. I am your host. Joined with me, as always, is Dom
Hi guys. Hi guys.
and Aubie.
Hey,
Dom, are you trying not to wake the neighbors up?
It already happened.
do
Yeah.
they work? Do they work nights? Why are your neighbors asleep?
No, that's
No, he
yeah.
wouldn't get it. This old ass man. We're gonna fucking skin you, dude.
My bad.
It's
No,
the
it's okay.
it's the
Oh, you
TikTok.
live next to some junkies or something.
It's the TikTok I sent where it's the dude he like takes a hit and then tries to like hold it in.
Oh yeah. I did watch that.
I every time his videos come up, I watch it because he like it's never the
He's the
same.
best.
Yeah, it's always the same concept, but it's never like he'll be like, I'm fine, I'm fine, and like just dying the whole time.
That's how it really is. He
Yeah, that's
definitely
it. Was a highly realistic depiction of
I mean, he
trying not to cough off a huge bong rip.
he definitely smokes some fast shit.
he has a weed leaf tattoo right under his eye, so I would assume
Necro Butcher style.
Yeah, I'd assume he's about that life.
Yeah, that is like the ultimate unemployment maneuver.
Hey, you know what? All those videos have like 300,000 likes, so he's probably making good money off of just ripping a bong and like recording a video of
Damn.
him dying.
I need to
Dom,
hit a big ass like gravity bong out of a 3-liter Pepsi and throw it on TikTok and see what happens.
I mean, I should make. Are you saying I should make videos like that?
yes, I think you should try and get in on this cash cow while the time is hot, you know?
Dude, I will, but I'm not, bro. Like last time, I hit some really big shit. Like I started bleeding a comical amount out of my nose. Like I got cursed. So it would be really
Like
gross.
Annabelle?
Yeah.
We cannot let Dom become a weed culture guy. Cannot happen.
It will not happen.
What about
You cannot be like the guys who used to bring the High Times magazine to my apartment and look at it like it was a penthouse.
No, bro. I remember I had people come over. They're like, "You didn't even name your bong," and I was like, shut up, bro.
No.
Get the fuck out of here."
Can't do it.
That's great. We've been recording this podcast for 2.5 minutes, and 2 of those minutes have been talking about weed. We're doing.
Well,
This is amazing. I love
Welcome to File Under Fire.
Yeah.
Podcast, weed review podcast.
Yeah.
where we really fucking light shit on fire. We're an arsonist podcast, bro.
Oh.
Might be an untapped market.
Yeah.
100%. We would probably get shut down though.
No,
if we
that's
got
If we advocated arson.
yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. We are talking about arson today. No,
That's true. I'm glad you said it first. Because I've been going back and forth all day about if it was arson or arson.
Listen.
I think you said it right.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Sometimes I mess up how I write it and I type it like Arison.
We got Tweedledee and Tweedledum. It's Arsion, pussy.
I always, before I ever heard, because that's, it's like something you read before you hear it. Who's saying that out loud? I always in my head read it as arson, but I think I've always heard people say it as arson.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's
Arsion sounds stupid. I can't lie. Arsion probably just is better sounding.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but in the like pre-match like little promo package they do, Yoshida does say, like, she does say the name of the promotion.
I totally was gonna go like fire up a video where there was like a title match or something and see if I could
to it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't sound like a fucking idiot.
Well, now we're all gonna sound like idiots.
On a professional fucking podcast.
Yeah.
We so obviously if you listened in last week, me and Dom both called our shots, right? I said I wanted to bring a Yoshida match to the pod because Yoshida is one of my favorite wrestlers I think ever. And we have not talked about her on this podcast, and I figured it was high time that we did. Dom called his shot. I think you even named specifically this match. I think you said the match you brought.
Yeah, I did.
But you did say you wanted to bring Black Buffalo, and then Aubie wasn't sure what he was going to bring, but I think Aubie brought what maybe is the most like quintessential match I think I could think of when I think of him, that isn't like War Games or something like that.
Oh, I think that's really fair, especially. Well, we can get into it, but yeah, this is very much. You guys brought stuff I think that's very indicative of what you like, and I did the same.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, get into it. Always match of the week. Kevin Green, Ric Flair, and Roddy Piper versus Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Six from WCW Slamboree 5/18/97. Kevin Green, for those of you who don't know and you hear that name and you're like, who the hell is that? He was a lineman for the Carolina Panthers at this point. He was a lineman throughout the NFL, but he at this point played for the Panthers, and he was, this Slamboree comes from Charlotte, which is why we get the Ric Flair match here. This is like Ric Flair's big return from injury, right?
Yeah, he hadn't wrestled in 8 months, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think they said like shoulder on commentary.
That sounds right.
But yeah, this is, I mean, it's 97 WCW, so like, it does feel kind of weird to me that like they're already doing the Wolfpack stuff in 97. I don't know why.
It's
like
the coolest gear ever. I just want to intervene.
But like,
it didn't really take long for the Wolfpack to be a thing.
It just, I guess, like in my brain, right? Like once they like split, like, Hollywood and Wolfpack, like once they split, that feels like a later WCW thing.
Well, this is pre-split. They're just there's tension there because they're doing the Macho Hogan tension stuff, if I recall correctly. Like there are problems within the NWO, and Hogan has been gone making a movie, and they're doing like a leadership thing in the NWO, but it's this like the real split into Hollywood and Wolfpack. This group, the Click guys, right?
Yeah, Nash got
call themselves
Nash Hall
the Wolfpack,
and X-Pac or Six-Pac,
but they're not wearing the red
wolf
and shit.
Well, I mean, they are wearing the red, but I really, yeah. I mean, they're all wearing black and red gear. I mean,
okay.
I just meant the Scott Hall blood drips. Yeah, the blood drips.
Yeah, but they're not. They don't have like the red NWO shirts.
No.
Yeah, because I watched the whole. Yeah, I watched the whole build of this. They drop all these NWO flyers and shit. That say tradition bites when they show that. That's kind of the
life. Sorry.
The build to this is great TV. It's like 6 weeks, but it's essentially Flair is back. He sort of makes up with Roddy Piper, and Kevin Green just joins them, just comes into the ring and is like, "I'll help you destroy the NWO," which is fine with me.
Yeah, they're talked about as Team WCW by commentary.
This was his second match, I think, but obviously big fan. Auburn Tiger. He actually, fun fact, tried to walk on as a punter at Auburn in 1980 and didn't make the team until 1983, and he walked on in 83, and he ended up like a 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-team, first-team All-Pro, like one of the best NFL linemen ever. But he just kind of joins them, and it is a vague challenge they make like to the NWO, and it is Hall and Nash, and then there's like a little mini rivalry between Six and Flair anyway. So that ends up being the match, but it's very much played as like, you're the old guys, get out of the way. You almost killed the business, and then the old guys played it as like, no, you need to respect what we did for the business.
Which is very funny, by the way, of like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall being like, you're the old guys, when like,
well,
Kevin Nash is graying here, like you can see it.
Nah, bro, he's got the dyeing. That's just fake.
Yeah, I see it. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful giant
deep
man.
Chestnut brown.
Scott,
it's all relative, right?
He hits the same fucking moves in every match, Mr. Nash. Is awesome and fun.
Have you ever seen his any of his shoots?
No,
I've
maybe
not,
seen
but
clips.
they're probably hilarious. Yeah,
they're incredible. But Cornette has a famous one where he talks about Nash's. He calls it the 6 moves of doom. And they ask. There's one where I think it's Sean Oliver asks him about it, and he says, "Well, there's this guy named Nolan Ryan, and he threw a pretty mean fastball, which I think is like a very appropriate metaphor. It is very much not what you do; it's when you do it."
Yeah, exactly. These just the entrances of this match, I think like
Unbelievable.
it got me going so well. We got Bruce Buffer,
Michael Buffer,
Michael Buffer. Sorry, my apologies.
So much. He adds so much.
They were paying this guy fucking stupid money.
Outrageous. It's worth it though, man. What does he call 6? He calls him one of the NWO's most vicious headhunters.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like if you weren't watching the TV here, that might sound like a funny thing to say about the kid. But like his deal was that he was like hurting all the other cruiserweights and like taking liberties and stretching them and like not letting go of holds.
Big fan of his gear
like
here that says "Thug" across the
front. Yeah. So good.
Which
I would like to ask. Actually, Brady, before I ask, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say every time I see "thug" in a wrestling sense, all I can think of is Tracy Smothers. But
fair.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, first off, Sean Waltman. Every time I see this guy, he is always taking guys out with spin kicks. Always the nastiest kicks. He just is always stiff. And also, how long was he in WCW? Not long.
Not long. He got hurt.
Yeah, he gets hurt.
Okay.
And then that's when Scott Hall starts wearing the 6-ball T-shirt.
Yeah.
So what even happened? How did he even join? Because I know he's 6 at some point, but like
he was just riding out the WWF contract until he could leave and be with his friends.
Yeah, I mean,
as the NWO expanded and they kept adding, he was the 6th member, so he was 6, and they called him 6-Pac, which is where X-Pac comes from.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he.
I know you remember that when he goes back, right? You've seen that one. Well, look who's back.
Well, look who's back.
I love that call.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these 3 as a team. Scott Hall is
awesome. Cool, man.
Scott Hall isn't checked out yet, which I really enjoy.
He is also a freakishly giant person.
Oh my god.
Unreal.
Yeah, you said
what is he, 278?
Yeah,
that's what Buffer says.
You said it in the group chat, but like, he is like, you forget how big he is when he's standing next to Nash.
Yeah, he's always next to Nash, and then you're like, oh wait, this guy Hall is also like 6'7", huh? What the fuck?
Yeah, like he's a giant, and like
that's something that they talk about in the build up to beyond just like the old versus young guys. Nash talks about how like we were here before, and like Scott Hall was such a star and so ready, and like you had no idea.
Yeah.
You know, and he does, man. He looks unreal. Well, all time great look, crazy build.
Big fan of
Scott Hall is definitely like unmasked guy, like probably top 10 coolest looking dudes ever.
Yeah, he's I mean, just hair slicked back, wet.
And he was called Razor Ramon because cocaine, dude.
Yep, he was a coke dealer.
Yep. Yep. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
He should have kept the fake accent the whole career. That would have been hilarious.
Did you notice on the
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Brady. What?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you notice on the babyface entrances, like you could barely hear Buffer. The crowd was so loud. Like you could barely make out what he's saying about Kevin Green.
Yeah,
they are hot because as he mentioned, this is Horseman territory, baby.
Oh yeah, everyone is holding up a 4 in that building. Like everyone. Some other things I saw from the entrance. There was a kid with a NWO shirt and a Mark Martin number 6 Valvoline hat, and I was like, that dude is my fucking spirit animal right there. All right, like the NASCAR hat, the wrestling T-shirt. I'm like, you and me, we're locked in together.
I said the same thing about the old ass man in the WCW hat.
The one where
it reminded me of the Rob Lowe NFL hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I was deeply hoping for a Pepe McMichael appearance. There was
Well,
none, but
McMichael wrestled earlier in the card. I think he wrestled like Reggie White or something. They had multiple football players on
who was Reggie
Slamboree.
White?
He was like an NFL Hall of Fame defensive lineman. Played for the Packers.
Yeah,
he and Green both now dead.
Oh
sadly.
Jesus, poor. Probably a career of hits to the head. Never good, huh?
One of the things I wrote in my notes was that like the NFL player to WCW wrestler pipeline, like I there's a lot of football players in wrestling, right? I think everyone knows that.
We need to bring it back,
especially in the territory era. I feel like that was a really big thing. But
because every big motherfucker there, like, you're doing football, bro.
Well, yeah, like I mean, Stone Cold
and
played
it was
football.
it was the 50s, so they would, if you said no, your parents would just beat you with an inch of your life.
Stan Hansen played football too, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he probably fucking trucked people. He was probably great.
Yeah, could you imagine? Oh,
he probably wasn't running great yards, but he would probably just fucking kill you.
I mean, hey,
he played at West Texas State, which is like the wrestler school. Ted DiBiase played there. Both Funks played there. Bobby Duncombe played there.
Yeah, because that's why like how he got into the business was because he knew the Funks.
I think Bobby Cock Jr. Yeah.
Old Cobby Box. I think Brody played there. Tully played there.
God damn.
Yeah,
like everybody, all the ghosts.
Yeah, Bruiser Brody. Damn, Brady, West Texas.
Yeah,
Bruiser Brady.
God, don't put that kind of stress on me. I ain't
we've already discovered that no mustache hair. Brady looks much like WWF's The Predator.
Oh yeah, it was
WWF's The Predator. What's his name?
Barry Windham.
Barry Windham. Yeah, Barry fucking Windham.
Yeah, it was mustache me looks like Barry Windham. Beard me looks like Arn Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some other ones. One day Aubie compared me to Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean
that's a compliment. That's him saying he wants to fuck you.
I've been compared to looking like a lot of people. I think in some cases it's just blonde hair plus beard. And then you can that comparison.
You really did look like that Barry Windham picture.
That is
you
true.
do.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's almost wow.
Getting into this match here,
finally.
We start off with Flair and Six Pac, and I really like the start of this match with Pac kind of working over the ring rusted Ric Flair, right?
Yeah, he also the very first spin kick, he immediately fucking gives Rick a concussion probably.
Tell he's fired up to be working with Ric Flair. And both of them are, this to me is like the best part of the match. This shit is electric. They're laying them in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
he punches him straight. Rick punched him straight in the teeth back, I think, as a receipt.
Everybody knows Flair for the chops, but you go watch those old matches. That's how he punched people, man. He threw some gnarly ass punches.
They were connecting.
When you think about it, though, these are probably the two most capable guys in the match, right? From either team.
For sure.
Hall is good here, but Six Pac has him by miles in
he could definitely run circles around Mr. Hall. Mm-hmm.
And then you have a aging Piper. You have Kevin Green, who very clearly has been taught 5 wrestling moves.
Piper still somehow looks pretty good though. He flexes at a point.
They do an awesome job of
working around it.
Yeah, working around all that stuff, and a ton of it is. This is the a view into the universe where these guys did what they were supposed to do, and bumped and stooged and Boiler lost. they know why the people are there, and they give them what they want.
Yeah,
and
like
it's a beautiful thing.
you're in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is both Ric Flair country, horseman country, and also football country, which is why the football players here. Like they're trying to they're they're they are there for the crowd, and the crowd is firmly behind them. Yeah, like you said, I mean, some of the offense between Six Pac and Ric Flair here is snug as hell.
Mean. Mm-hmm.
I like, once Hall gets in, I mean, they're, like he is very imposing, I think is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And then like at one like right after like Hall gets in, Flair knocks him down and he goes over and he chops Nash. And he's like trying to get Nash to come into the ring. And Nash is just like kind of not having it, Like he's just like what? Why do you want to wrestle me? Like I'm like why don't you worry about this dude, Like I'm a bigger problem, right? Theoretically cuz he's bigger. But it doesn't matter.
He is the top man on the totem pole for this team. He's the world champ on the team.
Yeah. I think aren't Hall and Nash tag champs here? I think they mentioned that. I think we just skipped over it.
They won them pretty quickly and had them a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of many popular tag champs from WCW, really.
Harlem Heat was there doing it at the time. The Steiners at some point were there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Outsiders. Got them quick and kept them for a while.
So Kevin Green gets in the ring, and he like does this whole like, quick feet drop down, like spin on your stomach routine.
Mm-hmm. And doing football drills.
Yeah, and all they can talk about on commentary is how much adrenaline he has. Like that's what they keep calling what he's doing here is that he
does look fired up.
He's like, "Oh, this is all adrenaline." Blah blah blah, and he all spits on him, tags in Nash. They kind of, shove each other back and forth. And then Nash kind of starts working him over. I mean, just going through it. Green.
Yeah, but he comes in hot. All the baby faces come in hot.
Mm-hmm.
And get their offense in first. Like Flair hits that huge chop on 6 when he's doing the strut.
Mm-hmm.
Green comes in and hits that big ass shoulder block, clothesline.
Yeah, at one point I wrote all-timer gesture match here because there is so many fake struts and like a lot of gestures towards the genitals.
It's awesome and it works.
No, it is, but like just there's a lot of
pointing at their dicks.
Yeah, a lot of pointing at dicks. And especially weirdly from Flair.
Yeah, well that was the thing. He and Six were going back and forth about like he said at one point in the build-up that he had more world titles than Six had pieces of ass, and Six basically says I'm fucking your old lady. So that's like a part of what they were doing, going back and forth in the build-up.
Was he actually?
No, he's just being a little shit.
Nah, well, hey.
But that's also how Ric Flair and Roddy Piper like buried the hatchet. Ric Flair like gave him a groupie. So it makes sense in the context of the match why they're pointing at their gross dicks.
No, it does.
Disgusting old man penis.
Yeah, but like a ton of like, I mean, we can go through this whole match like step by step. I say this a lot, but like, this is you need to watch it. There's
there's no point in doing that. There's a lot of pleasures to be had here. These guys work this as perfectly as you can.
I did love like some of the big, like at one point Scott Hall goes, "And now we go to school," real loud.
Yep.
And then he's like gonna do the figure four and then just gets like kicked away by Piper.
And it's funny because he does he's stooging like 80% of the time he's in the ring.
But he is in the ring, I think, the most for the heel
Yeah,
team.
he is. And he also gets the heat on Piper after his
Yeah.
crazy burst because Six comes in. He has his hip taped.
Yeah.
Which is another great moment in the match where Hall slaps it and Piper like reflexively just slaps
him,
paint
paintbrushes
out of
him
his
right.
mouth. Yeah.
Dude, it was so good. Like Piper even here, like not able to do as much as, you really expect from Piper. Especially if you've watched a lot of like old Portland stuff.
Piper throws a lot of bullshit strikes, but he also throws one slap that is awesome.
I don't know. I kind of like those punches in the corner.
No, I like them too, but they're definitely not stiff.
I think it's just
showing.
because I'm so used to like my brain is tuned in to guys who do punches in the corner, but it's the like stand on the top rope, count to 10, gesture with the whole crowd. Whereas Roddy gets him in the corner and just starts like
peppering him.
Yeah, going away at the chest. I think somebody should steal that. That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah, Piper's all-time great wrestler, underrated in-ring wrestler by a lot of people. But by this time in WCW, he is both physically and mentally
checked out.
Well, he's just gone.
Yeah.
But they do. A lot of his promos in the build-up to this are total nonsense.
I mean, in fairness, some of the best Piper promos are also complete nonsense.
Yeah. It's all relative, I guess. But but they do again. They work around it really well, and they have that built-in thing with the leg. That's how they
start.
That's how
him over.
Hall gets on top, and then he's vicious. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love the like way he starts that beat down with like the stepping on the legs and stuff. Just I don't know, man. There's a ton of stuff in this match I feel we've lost. And
these are masters, and there are a lot of lost recipes here. You said it's a gesture match, but they're getting so much out of all that stuff.
Yeah, out of just something as simple as like gesturing towards your penis or faking the Ric Flair Fargo strut. Like, stuff like that is just it helps having the commentary there. At one point, like Hall and I think it's Nash. Yeah, Nash is like working over Flair, and he like does a like big leg, like it basically just sits on his back while like Flair is like leaned up on the ropes. And then not long after that, Six comes in and hits the Bronco Buster. And that's when they mention on commentary that the reason Flair was out was for a shoulder, and that like those two moves are like very impactful on the shoulder. And I think making enough of an effort to mention that and like actually say that is a world better than most of what you hear nowadays, right? Like you don't.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
The heel wouldn't focus on that, or they would beat you over the head with it to the point where it was like,
it's like his shoulder. You would never. They would work that the whole match.
Yeah.
Whereas like they're not even working the shoulder, but they're pointing out that like, hey, this can hurt the shoulder, and I think like you're saying, that's I think really helpful.
And it's also everybody knows when to do what they're doing. All the baby faces get like hot tag segments. They
get their shine.
Yeah, the heels are not. They're not doing the thing. They're heels. They're eye raking. They're kicking in the leg. They're sneaking up behind. They're not doing the thing that they did too much of trying to be like cool heels.
Yeah, I mean like Scott Hall at one point does a pin and he like puts his feet up on the ropes, doesn't get caught doing it.
Yeah.
Even though it's still just a 2 count, but like little stuff like that, like trying to show that you're willing to cheat, but it's not like this big story point moment. You just know that like, oh, he's a heel, he's gonna do things like that. Just like a ton of fun. I liked in that little segment I was talking about where Nash is working him over. You get Hall like coming over to like beat on him, and he does it a couple times where he like bumps into the cameraman.
Oh yeah, that's great. It happens kind of back to back.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god, like you would never see that now, like guys wouldn't, the cameraman wouldn't even be there, like wouldn't be in the way, or a wrestler wouldn't even.
It's all planned out to like the utmost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The finish of this, so they get the hot tag, like Flair gets the hot tag to Piper after him and Six like have a double down moment. Gets the tag, and Six gets the tag out at the same time, and old Randy Anderson, he tries to say that for some reason that Piper was not tagged in.
He just didn't see the tag.
Yeah.
So he's saying, yeah.
So he's trying to say Piper isn't the legal man. Piper reels back and just punches Randy Anderson across the jaw.
Respect Randy Anderson.
Knocks him down. And then they all just start brawling. This is the point where my notes took a shit, right? Because I just started paying attention to the match and like wasn't watching where everyone goes.
I abandoned notes, brother. I abandoned notes.
Well, this is such a feel good and fun match. It's not anything like complicated to it. It's just he punches the ref.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Green kills Six.
Yeah,
Flair punches Hall in the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Figure 4 on Hall, sleeper on Nash, power slam on Six, and they all get pinned.
And
all fucking 3 of them get pinned.
Who was I think it was like Neil Patrick or something.
No, it was Nick Patrick.
Nick Patrick, that's close.
The NWO ref, yeah. There's some storyline going on with him.
Yeah, because they say that like they say that he's reinstated. Yeah, I kind of picked up on it. I kind of had the idea.
It's nothing you need to know about, but this is like I tweeted and that this should have been the season finale of wrestling, but like this is you never get this again.
No.
Tony Schiavone saying the NWO has been defeated. The crowd's going crazy. People are literally crying. People are literally in tears.
Fucking awesome.
And it's so like they had such the obvious like blueprint for how to do this, right? Like, but if it's a blessing to have it, because this is like the only moment where WCW triumphs over the NWO, and it really feels like which is such a shame, man, because this was such a great. They really had it cooking here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it's. I mean, just really an all-timer, just WCW match where it's like, if they could have kept doing this, they would have won the war. Like.
Yeah, it's that simple. It is that simple.
Yeah, like you had it.
Yeah, there's so much politics and ego involved and all that. Everybody knows the story, but it felt good for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
In 1997, it doesn't get much better. This is very much me. Like this is the shit I fell in love with.
I was gonna say, were you tuned in? I
love Flair.
97?
I love Piper. Yeah, this was like the height, the peak of my
wrestling fandom. Yeah, pre. And
then Kevin Green being an Auburn Tiger doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I love this shit. Just a super fun.
If
you don't, I hate to say make broad general statements, but like if you don't like this, I'm not sure that you like wrestling.
No, I think that's right.
I don't know what you're looking for.
I think they don't overdo anything, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it's very economical, but it gets the job done.
Like,
and the roof blows off the place, and the baby faces take a bow.
Mm-hmm. when you watch like later WCW, it's a lot more like it's too much stooging, right? Like there's not enough.
Well, or they're just the heels are just winning.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
Like you don't ever get that satisfaction, I guess. And then like, but if you want,
yeah, no, you couldn't have put them over stronger. I mean, literally all three of them lose in the middle of the ring clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, granted, I guess you can say that technically, Six Pac was the only one that got pinned, right?
But that's visual. Like Nash is unconscious.
Yeah,
All shoulders are down
Nash.
for the 3 count.
Oh my God! Before we move off of this match, I just want to say Nash falling down while like Roddy has the sleeper on him and he's like grasping for air was just like I don't know why I love that so much.
It was good. Nash was good in this too.
Nash, like it's such a quintessential Nash thing, I think. Moving on from that match, we're gonna move on to Dom's match of the week. This is the I think quintessential Dom match, really. This is Black Buffalo versus Flash Moon from Osaka Pro 11/10/2007. Dom, you've been preaching the praises of Osaka Pro here recently.
It's very, I mean, okay, I have, and also I have only watched that one event still in full. I'm very slow.
I mean, that's okay.
But it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. It's a fun tournament. This is their Tenozan tournament. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's their round robin sort of thing that they do, that they had every year. I think they don't do it anymore, but
Osaka
when they did
Pro
do
still
it,
a functioning
it was very
promotion?
awesome. Yes, Zeus owns it and runs it now.
When you say Zeus, I can only think of the backyard Zeus.
No, the All Japan Pro Wrestling Zeus and
No,
Osaka Pro Zeus. Oh, you know him. Okay, thank you.
No, I
I
know.
thought you were gonna say the tiny Zeus Lister from No Holds Barred.
Or the baby Zeus image. The Zeus with the baby. He's holding the baby.
Going into this, I knew you'd said like Black Buffalo was your guy, and like I assumed the reason was because of like how much you enjoy animals in general.
Well, it's animals. I think it's an awesome mask. I like that his mask has like
a little
it
hat.
has like yeah, it has like a little hat. Like he's like a baseball guy. He has like a baseball outfit on almost.
Yeah.
Which I think looks awesome. And I'm guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking up Gangrel shit in the middle of the podcast.
He's banging and banging in the middle of the pod, bro.
I swear to God, bro, he's really cool. He's kind of cool. But yeah, Black Buffalo. He's an animal guy. He's cool.
God. I love.
Tell us about your match, and he's looking at Gangrel.
Yeah, my fault. I just clicked out. I'm talking about it now. Black Buffalo is cool because he's animal. I like animal guys. I like masks, and he's very vicious with his offense. He has a nice lariat. I think he's the nicest lariat I've seen in a while. He does a little oomph. He swings it. It's nice.
He does good suplexes.
He does occasional cool suplexes. I really like his finisher. I like that he's just an asshole. I like that Flash Moon tries to just out trick him and submit him and like use the ropes and like be a tricky dicky guy. And Black Buffalo,
it's really it's real simple, straight up. That's how they work it from start to finish. And,
Black Buffalo decides he has to die from that point on. Yeah. He kicks him in the back of the head and shit, which is one of his spots. That's one of his spots. That's what I mean. He's vicious. He's awesome.
I love judo, guys. I think outside of sumo, judo is like the coolest background you can come from in wrestling.
Judo
There's just
is
something
awesome.
about those guys that is
you fucking toss people around. Yeah,
just vicious. And it makes because it's Flash Moon trying to be quick, and it not get caught.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the matches Black Buffalo on top, but his offense is all like really interesting, and they keep it interesting. Flash Moon has a lot of little hope spots, but all of Black Buffalo's cutoffs are so vicious. And I wrote that like all his cutoffs are so vicious, and then he cut off Flash Moon with like a sleeper, and I was like, well, never mind. And then he immediately turned the sleeper into like a murder.
Yeah, he does does that little like downward lariat.
Yeah, bro, the downward lariat, that shit is fucking. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
So
what's the point when he goes to the he goes to the top rope and hits like a he hits like a fucking double stomp almost, but
that's
it's like
what I'm talking about. That's his spot. His spot is usually almost, RVD's almost just like karate kick, like he just gets you in the back of the head from the top rope. He does that. That's his that's a Black Buffalo spot, but it's very violent. He drop kicks you in the back, but here, I guess his head was down, and Black Buffalo is like, "You're just dying, fuck it," and he double stomps the back of his head. Basically, Dude. It is fucking awful.
It's disgusting.
It is,
and all the Flash Moon's shit is super cool too.
It's super flashy.
Comes at him with it comes at him from crazy angles.
Does
he hits a no hand like tope like flip from the top with no hands?
He does like it's like a springboard off the top, but he like flat jumps to the top rope.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He did a tornado small package. I've never seen that shit.
Yeah, because like he had hit the tornado DDT earlier,
which was awesome. Yeah,
which was it's so good. I think it's it fits his character very well to do a tornado 100%. DDT. But yeah, that like doing the like tornado small package, I was like, oh look, tornado DDT, and then they roll through, and even like the commentators pop for it, and I'm like, oh okay, this is this is really cool. Dude, Black Buffalo takes his head off with
multiple times.
It's structured so well in that regard, in that it's like Flash Moon starts with like the Larry Zbyszko stalling, and he gets up on him quick with a bunch of quick and slick shit, and then all it takes is Black Buffalo like hits him with a big tummy punch and smokes him with a lariat, and then from then on, it's like he's trying everything he can, and every time Black Buffalo like gets his hands on him, he crushes him.
He makes sure he hurts him.
Yeah, he's like suplexing the hell out of him. The Buffalo pretty early on in the match, Flash Moon is like on the apron, and Buffalo like rushes him and basically just like shoulder checks him off of the apron, which I thought was really cool.
He does have like I don't know what that move is, but that is part of his moveset. He does utilize the Buffalo gimmick. He will charge the ropes and fucking I'll fucking get you with that shoulder,
which I think is very cool. Like I think that's it's a good way to use the gimmick. Like it's not so like on the nose of like, he's gotta like stand and like kick his feet back like he's preparing to rush, and like all the like kind of like stupid WWE-ish.
That's what Rush does. That's what Roosh does, and then he gets you with his feet.
Yeah, that's different because
Roosh is awesome.
Roosh is trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like
he's not Mantar. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm thinking like El Torito.
Mantar is. Yeah, WWF had a big buffalo-headed motherfucker.
Yeah, I've seen Mantar. My brain was thinking El Torito. I don't know if you'd ever seen anything from El Torito. Oh, we should watch WLC on the pod.
I don't know.
It's like not terrible, but like at the same time,
ringing endorsement from Brady. We should watch this match. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Dom's match was sick though. I like this a lot.
Yeah,
and it's great. And guess what, guys? It's only like 14 minutes.
It's perfect. Now? I know he did the Tiger Driver, but they called it the Buffalo Driver, which pops me.
Mm-hmm.
But what were those two whatchamacallits he did on him at the end?
What?
It's like
the final finish. He does like.
It's like a variation on a Tiger Driver where he like puts him up on like he
gets him on his back. That's what do they call that? The gory special.
The gory special, yeah, but it's like he has him like slung over his shoulder.
Yeah. He almost has it in a way that he immediately like throws you up and transitions it into, you know how they have the one-arm power bomb and the shit out one-arm power bomb? He does that.
Yeah.
And I think what happened was
the first one looked like shit.
The first one he did not find satisfying enough, so he says, "All right, buddy, we're getting back up here," and he spikes him directly on his brainstem.
Yeah. I literally wrote, he hits a bad variation of a Tiger Driver and then hits it again, much better this time, and we get a pin.
And he kills him. Yeah, and he pins him.
And then I do want to mention this because it is very funny, because the file version that you sent us, Dom, is like the whole show.
I watched the whole show. I loved the whole show, basically.
So it's like it's not like a clipped out version from the show that we watched. It is from the show. And so you get right after that pin, Black Buffalo, walks to the back, and you see, like, you get the start of these commercials, and I sat there and was like watching these commercials and like started writing my notes about them. You get like a housing company for something, I don't know.
Oh yeah, there are the commercial. I know, I understand.
Yeah, and like it's like a housing company commercial, and it's like
I use those as intermissions to smoke. I can't lie.
I love when the commercials are.
Yes,
100%. Pirates out there, if you're transferring like a VHS or something, please leave the commercials in. It's great in Memphis. It's great in AAA. It's great in Osaka Pro.
You would know about AAA. You've been watching so much AAA recently.
It's been fucking heaven.
I know.
It's awesome to watch good wrestling.
I saw.
It's really awesome.
I was on the channel today, obviously, to watch my match, and like I saw that you had uploaded like a bunch of AAA matches, like separate from the playlist you're working on, and I went, oh, that's how I know they're good.
Oh, dude, because
he's like pre-uploading
those trios. Them. Yeah, those trios have like an 80% hit rate, dude. I was like, I had 3 matches a month from 92 to like basically 97, and like they are. I'm like, well, surely these can't all be great.
Hey man, most of them are great.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I also wanted to say, so Black Buffalo does not have his mask for his whole career. He still wrestles today, and currently he does not have the mask. I think, funny enough, this exact tournament. What'd you say? Do I still like him? I do still like him because he's still awesome. He still hits awesome lariats. And this exact tournament, I believe, they don't have Osaka Pro is John, our good friend John. He helps me out with a lot of Osaka stuff. Osaka is weird with their taping and their broadcasting. There's only really highlights of the match I'm talking about, but seemingly the next round had Black Buffalo versus Tiger's Mask, and the way that ends is Tiger's Mask gets a roll up, and he gets the 3 count, and Black Buffalo just gets right up and lariats him, takes his head off, and tries to get the pinfall, and the ref is like, bro, you've already been counted out. You've already been pinned. So I think that is what leads to the Mask versus Mask match where he loses it to Tiger's Mask. Not Tiger Mask. Tiger's Mask.
Yes.
Yeah, Tiger's Mask.
Another baseball dude, right?
I don't know if he's a baseball dude, but he's awesome. He kicks the shit out of people, and I just want to talk about Osaka Pro at this time. They have such a cool roster. They had Asian Cougar, who's awesome, super fucking cool. They had Hideyoshi at this point, if he was in Capture. I said that last time. He's Dayukawa Uchi, and he's awesome. He's very stiff. You have Condor, like Masamune, Zero is Hubs, and Hub is still in Osaka Pro, and Hub is awesome.
Hub rocks.
Hub is awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Gaina. Gaina's a big fat motherfucker. He hits an awesome rolling lariat. Zeus is started Osaka. He's very cool. And while I'm talking about it, I have grown a new respect for Kuishinobu. I don't even know how to say it. Kuishinbo Kamen. Kamen's awesome. He is he's not always comedy. When he's not comedy, he will punch you in the face. Basically, he does like punches and shit. It's cool.
Yeah.
And that's my Osaka Pro tangent.
Yeah.
I think that's the
first.
More.
I think that's the first tangent we've ever, like Dom tangent we've ever had on the pod.
It's good. I love it.
Yeah, I know. We just need to get you
yeah.
talking Osaka Pro more.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I've seen some, but
this
is more, man.
This is the first time I've ever seen cool Osaka Pro.
Bro, I honestly could have brought any match from this specific taping. Even the trios in the beginning, the trios had a little bit of comedy, but they also were beating the shit out of each other. They were beating the dog shit out of each other. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's great.
My match for the week, like I said, we're bringing Mariko Yoshida. It is Mariko Yoshida versus Lioness Asuka from Arshion 7/3/2001. This is, as Albie described it, Arshion's 9/11.
Well, that wasn't unprompted. I wouldn't have gone that far without. But it is a very historically important match.
So you said like.
Okay, can I say something embarrassing?
What?
I assumed I watched the match and I didn't even look at the date. I just assumed that you guys meant this match happened on 9/11.
Oh no, no. See, I knew it happened in 2001. And so, for some reason in my brain, Albie messaged, like, this is a very, like, historically significant match in, like, the history of Arshion. And my brain was just, like, instead of, like, asking why, I just was, like, because of its relation, or like, closeness to 9/11. And, like, that was just where my brain went. And Steve just went, he just, like, yes, this is Arshion's 9/11.
Yes.
So explain why this is so historically significant.
Okay, so this promotion, right, is an outlier in Joshi in general, but especially in this period in terms of like the house style. It was started by Aja Kong. Yoshida was the head trainer. You said Yoshida is one of your favorite wrestlers. She's also one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, you're the person
coolest wrestlers ever.
You're the person who put me on to Yoshida.
But she was like a mid-carder in All Japan. But they made her essentially like the head trainer, and they would train Pancrase. They would train at the Battle Arts Dojo. Like the mat wrestling part is a real big part of it, with some like a little bit of lucha high flying and lucha submissions and stuff mixed in. It's basically like the house style is like what Yoshida is doing. And the other person that started the company with Aja was Rossi Ogawa.
Right.
Yeah, and they had disagreements over like the direction of the company. You can imagine what he wanted to do. But there's also like they want to
bring minors in right now.
They
also want to
hyper
push
visual fighting Arshion.
Yeah. Yes. Ayako Hamada, they want to push her big. That's not really like part of the problem, but she doesn't necessarily wrestle in that style, and the style of Arshion starts to just resemble other fast work rate Joshi promotions.
Yeah.
As opposed to like it's there are people who will say, "Oh, it's like the female battle arts," and that's like not true. That's an oversimplification. It's much more pro wrestling style, but it was a very different style from the other stuff at the time. And when Aja leaves, it is because that is changing and being lost. And so Rossi brings in Lioness Asuka as the new booker when Aja leaves, which was about a month before this. And so that's what the file starts with, is Asuka debuting at the end of a show, not wrestling. This was her first match in Arshion, and challenging Yoshida. And so this is really the beginning of the end of the company, because she pushes herself heavy. She pushes LCO heavy. She starts injecting like a lot more comedy and the identity is lost. People leave, and eventually it becomes A to Z after Hoda buys it.
I was gonna say, well, like Hota buys it, and turns it into A to Z. I think I was talking to Dweeb because we were watching one of the early shows, and
yeah, Zion '98, one of the
mhm.
great shows.
Yeah, really great show. But we were talking about it, and like I think there was a lawsuit between Aja and Rossi.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah, I think there's like as much as we're joking about the 9/11 thing, this is really like a tumultuous time for what this company would be. And I think it's a really good example. So the way Arshion had done things is they would assign license numbers to wrestlers. So Aja was license number 1, Yoshida was license number 2, and like so on and so forth. So as basically they were, assigned to the company, that was who was, the oldest to the newest. And so like Asuka debuting here is license number 100. So it's like you kind of get that idea that like, this is, even though obviously Lioness Asuka much more of an elder compared to Yoshida, she is like coming into the company here, she is like the new like the new person
Yeah, well, she's been back in Gaia, and she's been dominant in Gaia, and
Mhm.
it's always funny for me to see the goth Asuka. She's like the you guys may not have any idea what I'm talking about, but when I saw her, it made me think of like this is the Chris Gaines Lioness Asuka.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I do not understand.
Yeah.
Chris Gaines was Garth Brooks, basically dressed like as if he was like early 2000s Bret Michaels, is the best way I can explain it.
I don't even really know those names.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll send you the picture.
Yeah,
Right, fair.
if you see the picture of him and then compare that to like, Crush Girls, Asuka, and then this version of
Gotcha.
Asuka, like I mean, you get it.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
But like you see it in the match, man. Like this is not something that you didn't see matches like this really uh in RCN before. There was some of the creep of what they get to at the end with all the finisher kickouts and stuff, but like the table spots and all that.
Yeah, the kind of
That's not
wild brawling
crowd.
nature,
Yeah,
which
that's not something that you really got.
which it is uh like it kind of like we were talking about, where each of these matches are kind of indicative of the person who brought them. Obviously you guys know I'm a big ECW head, um and like a wild crowd brawl with a bunch of bombs thrown, like that in with my
It's not a bad match. It's
love of
cool, but
ROH, like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
like very much the type of wrestling I think I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Fair. It's fun. I like this match.
And like there are better Arshin matches, there are better Yoshida matches, but I think like in my head, right, this is a good like primer of like what Yoshida is with
He is very
she still
smooth.
does her thing. Like
yeah.
she's still catching submissions from crazy angles, and
Punching you
yeah,
in the head.
she's real great here. She's always great.
But
God, what a great wrestler.
yeah, like that to me, right, is this is Yoshida kind of I guess trying to think of how to phrase it, but like this is like still her without going full on like some of her matches against Ayako Umada, or some of the other ones where she's a bit more technical, like overly technical.
hmm
um and like if you've ever I watched a lot of Yoshida this week after picking this match, And like I watched some stuff from her like pre Archeon, right? With her and like AJW and stuff like that. And like I know like in my head that this is the same wrestler, but like watching it, you're like doesn't feel like the same person, like when she goes to Archeon and debuts with like the Spider Woman inspired gear or Spider Man even inspired gear, um, which is always sick, by the way. Like we do need to mention that. Like she's in the
one of the best looks ever. Some of the best gear ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's wearing her Spider-Man Mark 1 armor right here. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
like when she goes to that, she really turns up the technical stuff. Is going for submissions a lot more. Really, kind of being more of like a shoot style wrestler.
Yeah, it's a real reset. I mean, that part of that has to do with it's very intentional. Like this is the style we want to do, and we're building around you as the ace because she was like a mid carder in All Japan, but it is a very intentional like reset as the ace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do a good job, I think, of making her feel like the ace too, right? Like even here, like we talked about with Asuka coming in as the booker and stuff, like they still make her feel like that important figure, right? Like
Yeah, well, that's who Asuka comes in and challenges. That's no accident.
Yeah,
and this is not the main event of this show. The main event of this show is one of my favorite matches ever, but
What is the main
it's a
event?
huge match. It's Michiko Omakai versus Ayako Hamada for the Archeon title.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, how good is that?
It's so good. I'll send it to you.
I was gonna say, just send that to the
Yeah,
group chat. Actually,
Yeah, I will. I will. It rocks.
I might have watched it, honestly. I watched some Hamada this week too.
I've definitely have sent like gifs and clips from it. They both bleed a ton.
Oh, love
it's
it.
It's really great.
Yeah,
but yeah, she comes in and challenges Yoshida.
Yeah,
and I do love the way this starts. This is like a dick measuring contest, and I think it rocks that Joshi does dick measuring contests better than
guys with dicks.
Guys with dicks.
Yeah, okay. The aforementioned disgusting old man dicks.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the amount of streamers in the ring. There's something about that visual of just like two people who very clearly dislike each other, like opposed, like at opposite corners of the ring, and just a sea of streamers between them. Something about that is so good.
Streamers make for fantastic visuals.
But specifically, like Japanese, like Joshi, even more so.
100%,
streamers,
100%.
I think
100%
look better than like the U.S. indie streamers. And don't get me wrong, I like throwing streamers, but like I think it's a different vibe, I guess is the way you could describe it. But
for sure.
Yeah, you get like when you're getting the intros here, Yoshida like doing the flex pose, like right in her face.
I'm still thinking about that table spot. She stomped the shit out of her.
Oh my god, dude!
On her custom table.
Yeah. We can't avoid talking about Lioness.
I thought it was like a washboard, bro. I thought it was like a drying,
like plastic
board. Yeah, an ironing board.
No, I think it's just a painted table.
The bottom of it looks crazy too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just like a flat wooden. I mean, it might be wooden, but it is a crazy ass looking table.
I just assumed it's like, oh, well, it's a Japanese table, and so like, it's just like strong built. It's not meant to break, right? Like they don't build them to break, but it like they get in and just they don't lock up, right? Like they're basically just kind of like trying to see who wants to give up the hand control. And then Asuka like goes for the single leg, they're grappling. Yoshida like gets the top mount, starts just punching down, and then she like gets up and like basically like goats Asuka into like getting up and like trying to like do this whole song and dance again. Stuff like that I love when it's
Yeah, the wrestling to start this is really, really good.
yeah, because
Mhm.
Really, really good.
similar to like when we've talked about like lucha title matches where it's like you have the first fall kind of technical masterclass. This kind of feels like that without the extra falls, right? Like it starts with this whole technical wrestling kind of back and forth. Uh, all of it really kind of centering around Yoshida trying to get an armbar. Like that's what she wants, right? So like she'll transition her body into ways to try and get the arm free, and Asuka's doing a pretty good job of like keeping the hands clasped, and and then when Asuka can get out of it, she'll or get a chance to get some like offense, even if it's stuff like just knees to Yoshida's side and stuff like that. I think it's all just it works really well. And then like Asuka like just ends up like getting up out of the technical like kind of knot she was in and just starts like striking, right? So she,
Punch her in the head.
yeah, she kicks Yoshida in the ribs and then like kicks her in the head and then that she like throws her into the ropes, slide. I love the baseball slide into the feet to like trip them. That's it's something so simple that you can do. They go outside, she launches her into the chairs, and this is really the point where like the match kind of just clicks up and starts to go bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
So she throws her into the chairs and then kind of goes all through. They she like sets the table up against the ropes and goes to like whip Yoshida, and Yoshida like stops herself, but then Asuka like kicks her, and she then like drop kicks the table to like try and hit her with the table. And I don't know if it hits her or not. You can't really tell from the camera angle. But even if it clips you, that looks disgusting. Like even just like the tiniest edge, that would suck. She baseball slides into this thing and it goes down with so much force. And then that's when she puts the table on her, double like double stomps the table onto her, which you like you were talking about, Dom. Just stuff like that sucks. You get like you said, Obby too.
He stomps her in the ribs, bro.
This from this point is when you get a lot of those finisher kickouts, like you were saying. Uh, you know, uh, Yoshida's trying to hit the
Yeah,
air.
they do. There's two air raids. There's two
Hmm.
double stomps. There's a Liger bomb.
Yeah, it's kind of a bunch of
There's a
just
tower hacker bomb.
That's what they
There's
call
a
it. That was
crossface.
fucking awesome.
tower
I
hacker
thought the
bombs
crossface was cool.
amazing.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
all cool, but they definitely go through the
throw
big,
bombs and
yeah,
kickouts.
over the top sequence at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, Yoshida like she's trying her best. And then so Asuka hits the power bomb and then takes Yoshida out of the ring, throws her into chairs again, and then that's when
Yeah,
she's
that's the tower hacker bomb, the thing that like starts on her shoulders
is
It's
that
fucking awesome.
yeah
and ends in a bomb.
yeah that's right,
Uh,
where it starts like how you would do a burning hammer.
yeah.
Okay. She does that, which is insane, and then throws her into the chairs, pulls the mat up so she can set the table down, sets the table up, puts Yoshida on the table, and then goes into the ring onto the top rope and like does a double stomp onto Yoshida, which just like kills her. Like it's insane. It's a kind of a sketchy place to jump from because of how like far out the turnbuckle like edge is from the ring post. So like you can't stand on the top rope and jump. You have to stand on the turnbuckle to jump onto her, which looks like it looks sketchy. And she gets her back in the ring, hits the Liger bomb, which is that a Liger bomb? Because she like hooks her hands inside of the legs, and I wasn't sure if like
Are you talking about the actual finish?
um
She calls that the LSD. It's like a fisherman driver thing, but yeah, she like the
no, I'm
leg is weird.
not that. She does do that. I just called it a cradle driver. Um, but yeah, I guess like fisherman like pile driver makes more sense. But yeah, like the when she does like the full like up and down power bomb, like the Liger bomb
Oh
style,
yeah.
she like hooks her hands like inside of the thighs instead of like grabbing by the waist, which I thought was
Yeah,
kind of
I wrote it
weird.
down as something else, but I'll
Just save
refrain
that.
from what I called that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just we'll talk about that after the pod. Uh, yeah, she does that what'd you say it was? LSD or something?
Well,
LSD.
after the coochie bomb, it's the
God damn
tower hacker bomb.
it. We're all idiots. Yeah, that's what she gets the pin with on
Yeah, that's the
Yoshida.
LSD. Yeah.
And we get the like post match promos, which as per usual, I don't understand. Uh, maybe
I
I
don't be
should.
Well,
watching.
they agreed to form a team. The next match they have is a tag match, and then they win the tag titles like the
Really,
match after that.
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, like you were saying. Like she is, obviously Yoshida's the ace, and then with Asuka coming in, being the booker and pushing herself. I guess that
That
makes
beast.
sense to like be the team, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty cool tag team.
Yeah, I mean it sounds cool. With Chris Gaines, Asuka here, and Chris Gaines, Asuka, name of the pod. And Yoshida is just fucking Yoshida. This will not be the last time she appears on the pod, for sure.
No. She's got some all timers.
Dude, there was a couple times throughout this week where I watched a couple matches with Hamada where I was like, am I making the right choice here? Should I bring Yoshida versus Hamada instead? Because like some of those matches, man, they're killing each other. And this is like that the Zion Festival match, like that first one, where it's like, you know, Hamada's like I
Where
think
she
like
like basically squashes Hamada. That match is awesome.
yeah, but like Hamada still looks good in it.
Oh yeah, especially considering she's like 3 months into the business,
Yeah,
if that.
I think she's like 17 at that point or something
Yeah,
crazy. Like she is young,
she, she was a prodigy, man.
which I
Which
mean
makes sense if you
makes
see like
sense.
who trained her.
Yeah, and like obviously the familial history. Uh, but yeah, uh, she is amazing in that match. I don't know, but that'll come on. All of these matches, I think, just there's so many good ones that I could just bring on and just gush about. I'm excited. I I've been putting it off for a while, and I think it's I'm glad that like this is, I finally ripped the Band-Aid off, right? I finally was like, all right, I
Yeah, dude, let's go. I'd love to talk more Yoshida.
called myself
Of
out.
course.
There's that Fuji match that's so crazy. We'll talk about a Prodigy.
It-
And then, yeah, then Momoe match, the Yumi Fukawa match, tons. She has tons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even if you look at like you said during her mid-card AJW days, even those matches are still I watched a pair of matches she had, one with who was her team member? I'm trying to remember. It was like her against I think Lady Apache and maybe Bobby. Now I'm blanking, but I watched her versus Lady Apache in a singles, and in 97, so it's right before Archeon starts. And dude, she is so good there. She's good in that match. So yeah, I don't know. We have infinite time to bring on infinite amount of cool wrestling matches from all of the cool wrestlers ever, or maybe some of the not cool wrestlers ever. Maybe we find some good matches from some stinkers.
Yeah, like Gangrel, but Gangrel's not a stinker.
Please bring a Gangrel match, dude.
Yeah,
I might, bro.
I want to see a Brood entrance.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I literally watched like a WWF metal match mid episode between him and Takamichi Noki. Bro, he hits a tiger suplex out of nowhere.
Hell yes, I love you, Dom. I love you so much.
And then he hits a delayed bear hug Northern Light suplex, bro. Which, I mean, what?
Dom, is there anything that you couldn't find this week?
No. Everything I searched for, I find now.
Yeah, including Gangrel WWF metal matches in the middle of recording the episode.
It was fire.
Hey, that's all right.
It was pretty good.
That's all right. I respect it. Moving on to the cage match game, we've reset. Dom scored his first point last week, and
Ever. Mm-hmm.
yeah, first point in this new series. Aubie came back, won the first series. Now we are on to series number 2 of the cage match game. Dom is up 1 to mine and Aubie's zeros. It is my pick this week. I panicked, realized that I had forgot to pick a wrestler until literally right before we started recording. It was
awesome. It's fine.
Yeah, literally 5 minutes before I clicked the start recording button, I was scrolling through Cage Match, trying to stressing out, trying to find a wrestler, and also trying to find a wrestler that we hadn't already brought, because I saw Hardcore Holly. And I was like, well, I've done that. I've brought Hardcore Holly. I think I did, or maybe I don't know. I brought a Holly. I remember that. And I was like, oh, that'd be good. And then I went, wait, didn't you bring him already? But anyway, we found a wrestler that I know for a fact we haven't talked about. Are you guys ready for their current overall rating?
Gangrel.
It is not Gangrel. Are you ready for their rating?
Yes, yeah.
It is 8.84.
8.84. Going to say Ayako Hamada.
It is not Hamada. Dom, who's your guess?
8.8.
Yeah, 8.84.
Sorry, I unplugged my headphones there. If there's 8.84. This is Stan Hansen.
It is not Stan Hansen. I'd hope he's not at an 8. I'd hope he's at least a 9.
That sounds about right to me, because I guarantee there's people who rated him like.
I
saw him in
Saw him in WWF.
I saw him WCW, and it wasn't that.
Oh
cool.
no, he's significantly higher. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. I wonder what the lunatic Fringe Dean Ambrose is.
Are you guys ready for the first review?
Yeah.
It is a 9.0. In a time where the company they were working for was not super popular, their team was able to make waves despite that. A super unique look and a badass appeal, they have transcended to be forever known as a legendary tag team during a time when tag team wrestling wasn't really all that. Also was a great singles wrestler.
Damn, this is a tough one, dude.
Yeah, because now
tag team wrestling, not all that. That could be.
Yeah, that's like
anything.
Yeah.
Booker T.
It is not Booker T.
The all-time guest.
I was gonna say I forgot about that bit.
Yeah.
Can you read it one more time?
Yep. In the time when the company they worked for wasn't super popular, they were able to make waves despite that. They had a super unique look and badass appeal. They've transcended to be forever known as a legendary tag team during a time when tag team wrestling wasn't all that. Was also a great singles wrestler.
Super unique look.
Oh, I missed that part. Of course, that's not Booker T.
Is this I don't know, it's definitely not. Is this Alex Shelley?
It is not Alex Shelley. That is a good guess though.
That's a really good guess.
I mean, they do have a pretty unique look. I mean, I guess maybe not now because I think a lot of people like copied. Well, I don't know that. I don't. Anyway, we're not gonna get into it. Are you guys ready for the second review?
Mm-hmm.
Let it rip, Tater Chip.
This is also a 9.0. This guy was an extremely talented singles wrestler in his own right and had all of the tools to be a main eventer. However, being as selfless as he is, stayed in the league with his tag partner, and the two of them were dominant tag team champions through their entire run. Yeah, that's about it. If I give you anything else, it will give away who this is. I kept reading the review and like, if I give you any more, it's
Scott Steiner.
It is not Scott Steiner.
That's way too high for Scott Steiner. He's probably like a 6. Damn.
Is this Too Cold Scorpio? I don't know.
It is not Too Cold Scorpio. Shouts out Too Cold though.
He's very cool.
Are you guys ready for your final review?
Yes, I'm gonna pay attention.
This is also a 9.0. I love this guy. I first saw them in YouTube promos and just watched one and then spent the next 2 hours watching him talk. Both of him and his partner felt real.
Paul London?
It is not Paul London. And it is something I miss about wrestling promos for the majority of today's companies. Then I began watching this company regularly and loved his in-ring work as well. Again, they felt authentic, their moves looked legit, and they used psychology. It was a welcome change to the typical flip, no-sell, dive, no-sell, finish, kick out at one formula wrestling.
Jay Briscoe.
It is Jay Briscoe. That's why,
that's a great one, Brady.
That's why I had to like cut out the end of that second review because it says, yet just as it looked like he was going to get a big break on a larger stage in America, tragedy struck and was unfortunately killed in a car accident. R.I.P. Jay Briscoe.
I was fucking motherfucking.
Dom's crashing out over here.
Yeah.
Because I was almost had a feeling it was gonna be fucking.
He hates Jay Briscoe.
No, I love the Briscoes.
Jay Briscoe is so awesome, dude.
And I love the old Briscoes, and I love them. I love all the Briscoes.
I'm appreciative that you answered that when you did, because after that, this review got a lot more, I guess, on the time period.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of reviews from because that's why I was trying to hard because I read through a bunch of his reviews, but there was a bunch of reviews that were from the day he passed away, and so
okay.
so like obviously there's a bunch of people who are just like, giving him his flowers in the cage match comments, as they should, like that's completely understandable. But like for the purposes of the game we're playing, it does become very hard because if like I can't just read you reviews in which he's given his flowers, because then it just gives away the whole the whole thing, right? So yeah, Aubrey, you get 1 point. You and Dom now tied. Uh, I have 0 points still. It's okay.
I should have fucking. I've had a feeling it was motherfucking Briscoe, motherfucking
You
fuck.
you were close with the Alex Shelley guess. Like you're in the
kind of was.
You're in the right
I was
time
same
period.
era. Yeah.
I knew when I started talking about tag team guys, right? Obviously, Avi's gonna think, older. This is the big Rock and Roll Express guy.
Well, yeah, but then you said in an era where like tag team wrestling wasn't much, so I knew it had.
Yeah,
to be
back
modern.
then. Back then, tag team wrestling was the shit.
Yeah, I mean it. Well, yeah, it's because the Rock and Roll Express were the Rock and Roll Express.
That's actually a good point.
But yeah, I mean they're going crazy, right? Like they're doing all kinds of stuff now. But yeah, Briscoe's all timer. Shouts out Mark Briscoe, one of the few AEW wrestlers that Aubie will just actually sit down and watch, I think.
Yeah, I think his match is fixing to start.
Oh, hey, good timing, huh?
Yeah.
This is before we give out the dude of the week, I just want to say this has been a easy breezy episode.
Indeed.
These are 3 great matches that I think you should go out of your way to see. They all give you something a little different. My match, more of a car crash with some really good technical stuff in between. Dom's match, maybe like the quintessential Lucha Resu style thing.
But real tight.
Yeah, real tight.
No bullshit.
And then you have Aubie's match, which is just like what WCW should have been all the time, forever.
That picture with Roddy Piper flexing and everyone celebrating, that's a great picture.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just all timer. Shouts out for the dude of the week, in this case, dudes of the week. 2 of which have been on this podcast, all 3 of which have been dudes of the week in the past. It is the folks with the Wheelie Good podcast, Poochie, Big Business Sam, and Bollywood Benjamin.
Really good pod.
Yeah,
go watch.
I basically talked Poochie into doing a pod on the episode we had with Poochie a couple weeks ago. They decided, they were like, oh, we don't know what to do, and I'm like, well, you guys have just been watching randomly selected shows all based off of a wheel. Why don't you just review the shows? And they went, yeah, I guess we could do that. And so that's what they do. It's that simple. They go through a show, review it, talk about it, and each one is selected by a wheel. It's super simple. They release on Monday mornings just like us. So we got the nice, Monday morning wars of the podcast. They may be our friends, but we're still out to beat them. Or maybe not. If they surpass us, that's cool too, I guess. Maybe they'll have one of us on the pod. Hobby can go on there and make them watch like I don't know.
I already recommended them a show for the wheel.
What are we allowed to know, or is it a
Spring Stampede '99?
Classic.
Very fun show. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to us. Make sure you go watch these matches. Go watch all wrestling. Enjoy stuff. AEW's on.
Don't watch all wrestling, because not all wrestling is good. I mean, not all wrestling is good. Not all wrestling is good, bro.
In fact, most of it is bad.
Yeah.
What if I said not all wrestling is wrestling, but all good wrestling is wrestling? Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I think.
like not all
You got it, bro.
not all good wrestling is good, but all wrestling is yeah. I don't know. Not all wrestling is good, but all good. Yeah, fuck it. I lost it. Had it, then I lost it. Yeah. Send us an email at fileunderfirepod@gmail.com. I think I said that right.
Yes.
Tweet at us. We're trying more and more to use the social medias so we can just post cool clips. We just we kind of we think about this podcast in spurts. We talk about it like we record and then like we'll talk about like what we think we should do the following week and then like we'll like send our matches and then we'll talk about it again the next week, like the next Sunday when we're gonna record. I think it doesn't help that all of us are like a little scatterbrained.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I like saying 100%.
That's okay.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. Right on.
We're all stupid.
RT on.
RT on. Retweet on, man.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Um,
I like the Sabu lols with capital L. Lol. He does. It's not even him laughing. It's him just filling space.
Thank you guys for listening. Go follow us. Check us out. Email us. Subscribe. Like. Comment. Do all the things that that help this podcast grow because we want more people to listen to us be idiots on the internet because it's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week with God knows what. Bye.
Something good. Bye-bye.
Bye.